Hello everyone, today's video is going to be my second installment of my April Showers Brings May Flowers. Back in the very beginning of April, I filmed a blue eyeshadow video showing you palettes that remind me of the color blue or that have primarily blue eyeshadow in it or has that vibe of like April showers, and I will leave that linked down below. The second installment of this is May Flowers, so I went through my collection and pulled out anything that reminded me of flowers or had an ode to flowers, packaging, shade names, color stories, whatever. I originally got this idea from Betty Jean down at Batty Bean. I'll leave her channel link down below. She's starting to do more videos like pulling palettes out of her collection that cater towards a certain theme. So she has done flowers and she has also done like sea themes. So those have been fun to watch. So I'll leave Betty Jean's down below, her video and her channel. Seeing that video gave me the idea of April Showers Brings May Flowers. So here is the actual flowers part. We have a lot of the same palettes, but again, we have some different ones as well. Of course, our collections are all not the same. Go in your collection this spring, pull out anything that reminds you of flowers, because this is going to be a very fun video. I'm going to start off the video with what is on my eyes. Can you guess what it is? It is Odin's Eye Floral Story. I have all three of the ones in this collection. So I do have Betty Jean's palette. She did a palette with Odin's Eye. Beautiful colors also. I wore this yesterday. And then I have Lauren Mae Beauty's palette, which I did a 3 looks one palette video with that. But I have the whole trio here. This one, I would say, looking at them when they first released, I'm like, okay, I would just buy this one. And I waited until all the bundle went on sale and then I bought the bundle. This one is probably one of my least used, unfortunately, but the color story is stunning. You guys know how much I love pinks, purples, and greens. They're my top 3 eyeshadow colors to wear. And this is partially purple. So I did the best of both worlds. So I did purple in the crease and then I have done green all over the lid. I really enjoy the look out of this. I had fun creating today's look. I have the shade started in the crease and then I had the 2 purples blended out, and all over the lid I have this shade in the outer lid, this shade on the inner lid, and then I popped this bad boy in the most inner corner. It's one of those like shifty shades. You're not going to be able to tell. Anyway, beautiful palette. I really need to use that one specifically a lot more because it's stunning. The quality is good and I got to start using it while the quality is still good. Second palette here is the Profusion Ethereal. Now, packaging wise, like, it does have some flowers on it. You can't really tell, but there are some flowers on it. The color story is very springy to me. We have shades in here like Lavender Field, In Bloom, Cherry Blossom, Bouquet, things of that nature. Like, we do have some names that ode to flowers, and I have used this a couple times last month and I really enjoy this palette. I don't know if Profusion still has these palettes or not. They had the ethereal one, which is this kind, this one, and then they had, I think it was called Harvest. It was like the greens and the browns and the yellows and that type of color story, and I did not get it because I had other stories like it. This one is beautiful, and it is it's similar to the Mercury Retrograde from Huda, but in my opinion this offers so much more, which is why it's still in my collection and why I still get so much use out of it. But I really enjoy the formula, really enjoy the color story, and it's my second palette that reminds me of flowers. This one is a long shot. I think this one is called Night Flower. I don't know the shade names. I know that Betty Jean mentioned this palette, but it is the Lethal, I believe it's the Night Flower. because it says here, like a wildflower, something blah blah blah. Like a wildflower, grow in unexpected places. So what's missing in this palette is in my BYOPs. One is like they're both blues. I got this secondhand from a friend over on Instagram, and I have enjoyed the Lethal formula. I don't think it's my favorite formula out there, but this one is a very good, for me, introduction to the brand. I love purples, and these are pretty cool toned, especially this is like a gray. This is a mauve-y sort of color. These are all singles that are in their normal range, and they're beautiful. They are. I feel like if this didn't have the wildflower name, I would not have put this in the video. But Betty Jean put it in her video. Maybe it's like death flowers. I don't know. I haven't watched her video in quite a bit. Of course, I had to pull in my Garden of Juvia's palette. This one, again, very special in my collection. I love and enjoy this palette so much. Like, look at the artwork. It is gorgeous. Some of the artwork on Juvia's Place palettes, I'm like, not a big fan of. But like, this one is really pretty. There's a lot of very beautiful ones. Some of them are not up my alley, but I only have 2 palettes from them. So this one is a Spring Lover's Dream. It has the pastels, and these shimmers are shifty. They're beautiful. The mattes are just fine. The mattes are fine. But we have daffodil, flower petals, marigold, blooming, lilac yew, peony, purple orchid, blossom, lilac, gardenia, flower child. Like, this was based off of flowers, and this palette is beautiful. So beautiful. And I need to use it a lot more often. This one's a little bit of a stretch. This is ColourPop Garden Variety. Instead of flowers, it's more succulents. Like, obviously the vibe here is succulents, but to me it's around the same realm. Like Over the Bloom, Root 'em Up, you know, they have certain names, like Don't Leaf, like, you know, flowers have leaves. So the only shade that's really missing is this one. It was a green. This one is an empty pan. This was a Super Shock, but it got way too dried out, so I took it out completely. I love this palette. You guys know how much I love this palette, and out of all my ColourPop palettes, this one definitely shows the most use. And it's crazy because I have used this palette so much over the years, and you can barely tell. ColourPop mattes are outrageous to hit pan on, but this one was a stretch. It was more garden than flowers, but I feel like there's some odes to this palette, and I of course just wanted to talk about it again. We have my Tartelette Juicy palette. I think they discontinued their Tartelette palettes, which is such a shame because they were such a love in the beauty community for years. I never have tried the original Tartelette. I have never tried the Tartelette in Bloom. I have never tried the warm toned one. The only one I have tried is this Tartelette Juicy. Tarte's formulas are beautiful. I am missing one shade because it's in my BYOP, but this is a color story. If I had no eyeshadow palettes and I was an everyday sort of makeup wearer, this is the type of palette I would own, probably. But I don't know if you can tell, but a lot of the Tarte logos are gone. Can you see that? I have no clue. But this one was just a very, very light neutral brown. Love this palette. But there are some flower names in here. We have rose, orchid, blossom, petal. Yeah, so we have some flowered themed names, which is why it's in this video. I also want to talk about the Tarte palette again. Really love this palette, and it's one of my favorites in my collection. It's one of the ones I cherish in my collection. And it does have some flowers on the packaging. It's adorable. I really enjoy the Tarte formulas, and because I liked this so much, I bought my Tarte Reflections palette, which I also love. It's just huge. This one's beautiful, and I needed to talk about it. Last two are some very popular indie brand ones. So we have Diveroon Cosmetics. Of course, I needed to talk about my Gloomy Garden, and it just needed to be in this video. One, because it's a garden, it's flowers. I was talking to them, asking them if they're going to do another palette this size, because honestly, if I'm going to be purchasing a palette like this size and the number of shades in here, to me is like the perfect amount. But I love the packaging. Like, look up here where the mirror, like, such attention to detail. I really enjoy it. And then to top it all off, it is my favorite combination of matte to shimmer. So we have 2/3 matte and 1/3 shimmer. Love this palette. You guys know this was my #1 palette of last year. And it just has so many good things about it. I've never told you, actually never even looked at the shade names. There is Somber Succulent, Weeping Willow, Lauren Foxglove, Hydrangea, Marigold, Dandelion, Daisy, Magnolia, Dahlia of Despair, Moody Morning Glory. The last and final palette is, of course, going to be the Secret Garden palette from Bella Beauté Bar. This one is very, 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 very high up there. We'll have to see about my ranking at the end of the year, but I think this palette is going to be very high up there, like my favorite, or definitely in my top 3, like just based on what I have had in my collection thus far this year. This one definitely gets my gears turning. It gets my creative juices flowing. I love the formula, and it is a stunning palette. 3 shades are missing because they're my BYOPs, and so hopefully I'd get a lot more use out of this palette that way. Love and adore this palette. We have blues, we have some greens, pink, different tones of pinks. We have cooler and warmer pinks, neutrals. This color story steals my heart. It has my heart for the end of time, and I really need to use it some more. Like, you guys are seeing this is like a bright green. When I'm looking at it, it's blue. When you guys are looking at this shade right here, it is blue, like it's the shimmery color of this one. But when I'm looking at it, it's purple, and it also has holographic shifts to it. Bella Beauté Bar has some beautiful shimmers, and the mattes they put with this are divine. I would 110% buy more from Bella Beauté Bar, except their palettes that are more this size are just so expensive, and I will die on that hill. So expensive. This one was more worth it to me to get because the color story is way up my alley, but you get more shades for like an extra like $4. Like, this is what I want more of this. I would totally buy more of this. That was my entire video. There are a lot of favorites, and obviously you can tell some of my all-time favorite palettes are in this video, and they have that flower theme. Bella Beauté Bar Secret Garden definitely be in my top 3 this year. Diveroon Gloomy Gardens was my #1 palette last year. My Tarte Juicy is like an all-time favorite staple palette. You guys know how much I love and adore these 2 palettes. I talk about them quite often, all the time. So there's a lot of palettes in this video that are my all-time favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Of course, go watch Betty Jean's channel and her video down below. She did have a lot of the same, but we definitely have some differences. She does have a lot more palettes than I do, and she has a lot more indie palettes than I do. That completes this video of all of the palettes in my collection that has like flower theming. I love the flower theme, and I wish more brands would honestly come out with more, because these are my all-time favorite color stories. Check out my April showers video down below where I talk about blue eyeshadow. Anything else I have mentioned will also be linked down below, as I've been talking and yammering about some palettes in my collection. Go through your collection. Do you have any palettes that are flower themed or just have the flower vibes? Pull them out for the springtime. Shop your stash. You do not need any of these palettes at all. Just shop through your stash. I'm sure if you like the idea, you have it in your collection already, like I do. I love and appreciate you guys all so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys next time.